Hey guys, welcome back to Noodsgaming. It's a 2x event right now for Ancient Shards, so you know what we're doing. We're doing summonings. So let's go do this. I got 51 shards right now. I got 42 in the bag right now. So I'll have just enough space so I don't have to waste time doing any reorganizing or anything like that. So with all that being said, let us pray. Let us pray for a legendary. I made a short list of some of the legendary champions that I was interested in, just based on what I wanted to get out of the game, whether it's to improve my clan boss team, or if it was to improve my dungeon speeds. So the first one that comes to mind is obviously Vizier Velis. Vizier Velis specifically I would be using in Clan Boss, as well as potentially Fire Knight. Second legendary is Prince Kaimar. He's one of my favorites. And actually, let's go take a look at him real quick, just so you guys can see why I like him so much. If you don't know who he is, he's the big blue guy over at the end here. My goodness, is this guy like ripped? They must have like the best like fitness equipment in the entire realm of Raid Shadow Legends, because this dude is ripped. And thankfully he's got legs too, so he's not like one of those like big torso and chicken legs. So that being said, I've liked him since the first time I saw him. I think he has a great character model. I would change his tabard here, just because it doesn't really seem to fit the rest of his thing, like blue lightning and then this weird green, yeah, weird green like jade looking cloth. So if anything, if he ever gets a remodel, I would definitely change that up. And the blonde hair is kind of throwing me off because it's very flat, doesn't really have a lot of texture. But besides the artwork, let's go take a look at his kit real quick so you guys know why I want him so bad. So A1, attacks all enemies, places a 5% poison debuff for one turn if this attack is critical. This would actually really help in campaign as well, because it is his A1, you don't really, like, you can probably, if you build him properly, you can probably get him to do some serious damage. Now, granted, if you look at his HP and defense, he is definitely more tanky than he is attack heavy. He's also quite fast, and he has 40 resist to start, so definitely an arena champion just from that alone. Sadly, he doesn't have any accuracy, so making that poison land could be difficult, but granted, if you're already in the end game, it shouldn't be a problem regarding gear, because you're going to be having those 5-star and 6-star accuracy and speed, speed items. So next, his A2, Abyssal Gaze. Now this is the one that is really interesting because a sleep debuff only lasts until those champions get hit. So, for example, if you have your Prince Kaimar as your lead, in terms of his actual speed stat, he goes first. You place his A2, gets the speed. Just in an ideal world, he gets a sleep debuff on all of the enemies. Then you have someone like a Dracomorph, puts on the decreased defense and weaken on all the enemies without touching them, so they don't wake up. And then you have someone who does a decreased attack plus poisons, like a Tomb Lord, for example, or actually even Madame Ceres. She would put the decreased defense and decreased attack on there without doing any damage. Then you have a super nuker, like an Ethos or Ignatius or Ray, who's been super popular lately, actually, and but we'll get to that in a second. you have that, and then you have an amazing, what I would consider an amazing setup for an arena team. Now, let's go to his A3. A3 is really what really makes his kit super cool. Makes him super useful in a lot of things, specifically dungeon keeps, and also, depending on the team that you have, he could be useful in clan boss. It definitely makes him useful for dungeon runs, simply because if you have a lot of nuke teams, specifically like Spider in particular, and you want to get those massive AoEs down and those turn meter reductions constantly, this skill is super awesome. Unfortunately, it is if he is unbooked, it is a 7-turn cooldown, and even with a book it goes down to 6 turns, so unless you have someone else that can reset his cooldowns, it's going to be difficult to actually proc this more than once, depending on the power of the rest of your team comps. And last but not least, his auras, just for arena, it's an increase in ally speed by 30%, which is actually equivalent to Arbiter. But unlike Arbiter, he does not have a revive, and nor does he have a remove debuff. So if you're gonna go with, if you don't have Arbiter but you do have Prince Kaimar, I don't see anything wrong with him. It is pretty rare, actually, as you get into higher arena tiers like Gold 4, to actually see a Prince Kaimar that's really effective, simply because, again, he's pretty average in terms of his kit here. Again, he does have decently high attack and defense and decently high HP, so you can build him as a support very easily, which is what he is. But again, between him and Arbiter, I would go with Arbiter personally. Yeah, and hopefully that didn't ruin my chances of getting him. Another champion that I do want, a champion that I just touched on actually, is Ray. I've wanted Ray for so long just because of her. I love how she looks. Just a little personal tidbit about me: I love the unnatural ombre look for women's hair. So a girl who has hair that's either natural up top and then it gradients out into an unnatural color. I love that look, especially long straight hair. That, I think that's the best combination, at least for me. So yeah, so I love that look about Ray. I'm not gonna click on her because I have this really paranoid theory that if whatever champions you click on to look at the index before you do an event, at least in my experience, you'll never get those champions, so we're going to try and avoid that. Unfortunately, I did do it on Kaimar, so hopefully that won't ruin my chances. So, yeah, so Ray, amazing in Arena, and just in general, I think she's amazing in pretty much the entire game, except for Clan Boss. But then again, you don't use a Ray for Clan Boss because she's truly just a nuker straight through, with amazing ways of making sure that she can continue to nuke any team that you're facing. So great for dungeon keeps, great for dungeons in general, and amazing at arena because of her A3, which is Banish, which I'm not going to show you for the reasons that I said before. What it does essentially is it removes all of the buffs on the opposing team, then it does a hit, and then it does a freeze on anyone she doesn't kill. I'm not sure about that that cycle essentially within her A3. I'd have to look that up and ask around a little bit. I know a lot of the other channels for Raid Shadow Legends have done guides on Ray already. So since I don't have her yet, I will have to say that if you're looking for a good guide on Ray, definitely look at Hell Hades and Stu Gaming in particular. Those two channels have grown incredibly quickly through Raid. They do really good content for all levels of the game. But if you're someone who has Ray and you really are struggling with trying to get her up to, her ideal power output, I would definitely look at those two channels, Stu Gaming and Hell Hades. So, yeah. So, next champion, we so far, I've mentioned Prince Kaimar, who was a in the demon spawn race, and then we have Ray, who is a dark elf legendary. Oh, and I mentioned Vizier Velis, who is I mentioned first. Actually, he's also a dark elf. So, um, I want. I'm just gonna put it like this, just to save us some time. I want all of the Dark Elf legendaries. There is not a single Dark Elf legendary that I do not have a purpose for. So, for example, I've been really interested in the new Dark Elf legendary Lanakis the Chosen, because that champion is very unique in the sense that as a legendary, they have a very untypical skill which increases the duration of buffs on your team. So, what I've actually been interested to find out regarding its efficacy is how viable it is in clan boss. So, everybody talks about Vizier Velis and his ability to increase duration of debuffs on the clan boss, but what about increasing the buffs on your own team? And I wonder, so if you have a champion like Roshard the Tower, who is another champion that I have been really, really, really hoping to get for quite a long time. You get Vizier Velis to increase any debuffs that you put on the clan boss. You have Lennox the Chosen to increase any buffs on your team. So if you have Roshard the Tower, who's putting what's the name of the buff called? We're gonna call it a no damage buff, for lack of the actual name of it. So you're not only increasing debuffs on whatever team you're attacking, but you're also increasing the buffs on your own team, so that if you do get in trouble, you are relatively safe. So that's going to be something that I would love to play with. Now, I mentioned Roshard the Tower. He's my favorite Sacred Order champion. My favorite Sacred Order champion? He is tied with Sir Nicholas for me in terms of the what's it called? The Sacred Order. I think Roshard the Tower's lore is really cool. If you're interested in lore, as I am, definitely check out Ayumi Love. I'm pretty sure AyumiLove.net has lore on all the champions, and also raid-codex.com. They also, I'm pretty sure, have started uploading lore if they haven't had it already. So if you are interested in the stories of the champions that you've been collecting as a player of Raid Shadow Legends, definitely check that out. I think it's definitely worth doing, and hopefully Plarium will see fit to add the lore to all the champions at some point, because it's even though it's not an RPG in the sense of it being like a Witcher game, like a Witcher or God of War or any of the big AAA titles like that, it's still an RPG in the sense that you are picking, you are outfitting champions, you're outfitting the characters that you want to use, you're optimizing them, like you're min-maxing them, so optimizing them to make sure that you can get through the story, quote-unquote story in the campaign, as well as doing any of what you might consider side quests like the dungeons and the clan boss. So lore would be super, super great. I think it would add a really effective level of immersion into the game, because lore does a lot of things. So, but not to get too sidetracked, we'll talk about that another time. It's gonna go on my list of another video that I'm gonna do regarding lore and some improvements that I would like to see Plarium make. But back to champions. So I have Vizier Velis, Kaimar, Ray, Roshard the Tower. Next one is going to be Ignatius. Now that I have Bigun, I want his big fiery brother, because I do have Tormund, and I would love to be able to speedrun the Spider 100%. So utilizing the freeze and HP burn combination, along with some burst champions and a turn meter reduction, I think would be a really cool team. So yeah, so Ignatius, and then let's see, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Um, let's see. Another one that I would love to see, in terms of what I would need, is actually, let me think about this for a second. I've been wanting another speed farmer. I'm using my miscreated monster at the moment. He runs it at about 27 seconds, which I'm happy with. I don't need to be doing my campaign runs at 8 seconds. That's just not efficient for me, because usually while I'm playing Raid, I'm doing a lot of other things. I'm either working on artwork, or I'm studying, or I'm watching content, consuming content, or doing something else. So an 8-second run for me would mean I would literally have to be glued to the screen, since I don't really have any intention of getting a macro tool like the one that BlueStacks has, because I like the Plarium Play app, and BlueStacks for me just it takes way too long. Not that I'm running a potato or anything like that. I'm actually running a super high end, not a super high end, but I'm running a pretty high end PC. So it's really more about my comfort level with having a program running all night while I'm asleep. But that's neither here nor there. So Zero Velis, Kymar, Ray, who else did I say? Roshard the Tower, Ignatius, pretty much any of the other champions in the Dark Legends. Well, they are really. Dark Elves Legendaries. If we're gonna talk about specific other ones that I would want out of the Banner Lords. Yikes. I have Lord Chamfort, whom I have not gotten to 60 yet because I don't spend a lot of money on this game, like I mentioned in previous videos, so I like to do things the slow and steady way. I'm the turtle, rather than the hare, or the whale, in this case. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to take a look, if we want to take a look at my champions real quick. So you see, I have my Tomb Lord. I just made a video about him. Actually, he's almost finished. I don't have a lot of silver, which is why these are the way they are. But so far, I'm pretty happy with him. We're not gonna go over this in detail, but as you can see, I've done pretty well. 316 accuracy is definitely nothing to scoff at. So yeah. I'm also, actually, the reason why I wanted to go into this is because right now I'm building up my Bigun, because I do want to use him in some of my dungeon runs, and even potentially to replace one of my arena champions. So I'm almost done getting all of my 4s and 5s ready. Only have a few left, not too much. And yeah, yeah, that's my team. So as you can see, lots of empty spaces. And yeah, these are just the champions that I use or am building. If in my vault, these are the champions that I don't use. So I have my Tormund fully built, not fully built, but maxed out and leveled up and ascended. I have my I've forgotten his name. Harvest Jack leveled and ascended. Madame Saris leveled and ascended. Sergeant, Rearguard Sergeant, 2 Royal Guards who need quite a bit of work, don't have the items to really redo their kits to really make them effective, so I can do consistent speed runs on the Spider. Kale, fully booked, the whole 9 yards. I mean, he's a starter, so, it is what it is. And then with my legendaries, I have quite a few Vault Guardians. So I just got Arbiter from the missions. Finally, after 7 months of playing this game, I finally got Arbiter. The first day that I got her, I got up to 50. And no, I did not use any brews. Astrolith, Royal Huntsman, who I was super excited about, and still am super excited about. Got him in the last 2x. I think I got him in the 2x Ancient as well. Got Lord Chamfort in the last 2x. And the last Sacred 2x, I got Robar, Septimus. This is not Septimus. This is Errol, sorry. And who else? Actually, I think what happened was I got Royal Huntsman, Chamfort, Errol, and Robar in the last 2x Sacred, which I did record, so I'm probably going to put that out, even though it was way before I started my channel. I recorded it just for my own posterity, but now that I've been doing more content creation, which I have to do a lot of uploading, yeah, I would love to show you guys how that went because I was super excited. In that video, I was redding a potato. So so I'm super glad that video actually came out. And then Astrolith and War Mother. War Mother was my third. I want to say my third or fourth legendary because my first 3 legendaries were Turvo, and in order, Turvolt, Bad L, Rosin Scarhide. Those were my first 3 legendaries. Then I got War Mother. And then my 5th legendary was... oh, no. Before Rosin. So, Turvolt, Bad L, Ghostborn. That was my 3rd legendary. 4th legendary was Rosin. 5th legendary was War Mother. And then the rest are... well, the timing is pretty much inconsequential at this point. So... yeah, I've shown some people my roster in Discord, and they're like, we can't see anything except your sea of epics. Do something with them. I'm like, well, I mean, hey, I'm saving them for fusions. That's basically what I do. There are a couple in here that... oh, wait. Why am I even talking about this at this point? We gotta get some shard openings. So, forget all that. That's gonna be another video. I'll probably wind up editing this out. But, even though I like doing raw videos because it's fun, so let's hit this up. Let's pray, let's like chant, do whatever. I don't have anything lucky. I mean, if we want to pull something lucky, let's pull my Dunharrow King. He's my favorite pop vinyl so far that they've come out with, and yes, I am a Lord of the Rings nerd, so come on, Dunharrow King, show me what you got, boy. Get me some legendaries. Okay, so I'm going to hold them up here like this for the rest of this video because I'm a dork. And I have no other way of holding him so you guys can continue to look at him. So let's see. We have 51 ancient shards, so let's get to it. Oh, God, I'm so nervous. Come on. Come on. First 10 pull. That would be amazing if I got a legendary on the first one. Is it going to happen? Hey, it could. It could very well happen. Let's see. Oh, we got an epic. Oh, my first Tyrell! My first Tyrell! I was just thinking about him today. Yes! Okay. All right. Okay. All right, let's keep this momentum going. Okay. And it's an epic that I don't have. All right, Tyrell. Now, granted, I don't necessarily need him, but... oh, and an Allure! Oh, my Fire Knight team. And a Horden! Wow. Wow, dude, those 3 epics alone, man. Whew, if I get a Skull Crusher, oh man, oh man. Okay, let's do this. Come on, baby. Come on. This is the 3rd one. Okay, Sakara, a new one for me. I don't have her yet. Okay, Cage Breaker, have him. Okay, Gallic, another Gallic. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. We have 2 more 10s. You never know. Come on, baby. Come on, show me that. Show me something good. Tashada, it's another new epic for me. Aina, I've had her. Let's see. Okay, this is the last 10 pull, guys. It's the last 10 pull, and so far I'm not disappointed. Let's see. Come on, baby. Come on. Show me that gold. Show me the gold. Another steel skull. Okay, not bad. Another horde. Oh, that was so... Oh my god. That's hilarious. Oh man, that's hilarious. And I'm talking about Demon Spawn. And what do I get? Demon Spawn. Oh my god. I've seen some really interesting stuff with Tyrant Ixlamore. I don't know anything about him, except that he does an HP burn. I've seen him in Arena, and he gets crushed every time I fight a team with Ixlamore. But Dun Hero King, man, he is my good luck charm. I mean, 50 pull, 510 pulls, 1 legendary, like, I think I got 6 or 7 epics, 3 of which are unknown to me at this point in terms of my inventory, or my roster rather. Got 2 Hordens, which means I can use one in any fusion in the future. Which also means I will never have to buy him. Not that I would, because buying champions to me sort of defeats the purpose of the game. Got a duplicate Steel Skull, which is fine because you never know. They might make him a champion that's required for a fusion. And I got Tyrant Ixlamore, a champion I didn't think I would get, honestly. But I am pretty happy about that. It's another legendary. So let's see. Let's check out his kit real quick. Attacks one enemy, heals this champion by 25% of the damage inflicted. Heals this champion by 50% of the damage inflicted instead if the target is under an HP burn debuff. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so I could see this being interesting if you combo him with someone like an Ultimate Galek. Or someone like a Drexstar Blood Twin, whom I have. Okay, his A2 is an attacks all enemies. I'm just going to read the Ascended version. Attacks all enemies has a 75% chance of placing an HP burn debuff on all enemies for 3 turns, and damage is based on defense. I actually should have mentioned that in the first one. He is a defense scaling champion, so he may actually replace my Drexstar Blood Twin in my Spider team, as a matter of fact. Yeah, actually. That is actually a pretty nifty idea. He's defense based, just like Drexstar, and his A2 does an HP burn, 75%. If he's booked, it's 100% with a 3-turn cooldown, which is amazing. His A1 has built-in life steal, and his passive, which I was going to get to in a second anyway, decreases damage inflicted by enemies under HP burn debuffs by 10%. So, since he doesn't have a provoke, which actually would be a really interesting item set to put on him, a taunt set, because once he gets his A2 off, this essentially becomes like a built-in reason to put a taunt set. What is the name of that set anyway? Increases ally HP in all battles by 100%, which is actually a pretty good thing. And just wait, we have one more. Can we do it? Can we get another legendary? Let's find out. And I just spit all over my monitor. Oh god, that's painful. And it's Madman. Oh lord, jeez. Maybe it's telling me something. Maybe it's telling me something. Oh man, yikes. Well, but wow, that was great. Yeah, so that was cool. Got 2 more barbarians. I actually didn't have Hyena. That's surprising. I thought I did. And Tashada now. And who else? And Sakara, who apparently I had already. So, hey. I'll take any champions for fusions, pretty much. Tyrell, finally. I actually don't even know his kit that well, because I haven't had him before. So, let's take a look. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 40% chance of placing a 50% decreased attack buff for 2 turns. Damage inflicted is proportional to defense. So he would actually be great for Dragon. And obviously also for Clan Boss. Not someone I would put a Giant Slayer on, because it is only two attacks 2 times rather than 3 or more. Singing Steel attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense buff debuff for 2 turns. If the target is under a decreased attack buff, it will place a sleep debuff for 1 turn. Damage inflicted is proportional to defense. Interesting. So this is cool because if you have his accuracy high enough and you've booked him, it's pretty easy to get this sleep off, which means in Arena, if you target a nuker, I could see this being super effective for that. Now, Tyrell is not very popular in Arena just because I guess he doesn't do enough damage, or he's really more kitted out for other parts of the game. But if you have a super tanky team that's specifically built around speed and defense, I can imagine he would be very useful. His A3, unfortunately, is an attacks one enemy. Decrease the target's turn meter by 50%. If the attack fully depletes the turn meter, it will place a stun debuff for 2 turns. Damage inflicted is proportional to defense. Now, I can potentially see this being useful in Fire Knight if you get him to go last and his is like the 10th or 11th hit. So obviously super specific, definitely an end game plan of attack. But yeah, I could see that working. Also, this could potentially be really helpful in Arena again. You can't get a stun off on any bosses, so that's not useful in that sense. Essentially, all you're looking for is decreased turn meter when it comes to dungeon bosses at this point. So, and then his aura, which I think is excellent, not excellent, is very good. Excellent would be like 30% or more in my opinion. Increases ally defense in all battles by 25%. So yeah, who else did I get? Oh, Banner Lords. Yeah, Horden. Forgot about Horden. Attacks. Now, my opinion of Horden is that he's like the non-campaign souped-up version of Relic Keeper, and I will show you why. So, his kit attacks one enemy 2 times, grants an extra turn if the target is killed. You put him in tons of crit gear, crit and attack gear, make him super glass cannon. I can imagine this could work out really well. Not for dungeons, just for arena. Arena and campaign, actually. Except that he doesn't get an attack bonus in campaigns. So that's why I said he's like a souped up Relic Keeper in the sense that he gets extra turns and he's all about attack damage, or rather crit. So while Relic Keeper has some utility in terms of his ability to help you go through campaign and complete it and get to Brutal and do all that fun stuff. Essentially speed running Brutal, if you have him strong enough. So A2 attacks one enemy, has a 60% chance of placing a 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. Heals his champion by 10% of the damage inflicted. Okay. Okay, that's pretty cool. Built-in lifesteal. It's only 10% of the damage inflicted, but if you're doing like 20k damage with this attack, so again, super necessary to build his crit damage. Like you can even see 60% crit damage at level 60 without any gear. He is super slow, and he has very poor defense and HP, but this crit damage should really carry him essentially, because if you can kill him in one shot, why do you need defenses? And then his Burning Hatred, which is a 6 turn cooldown, 5 turn cooldown with a book, places a 50% increased attack buff, a 30% increased crit rate buff, and a 30% increased speed buff on the champion for 2 turns, and it gives him an extra turn. So you do his A3, then you do his A1. If the thing is killed, whatever you're attacking is killed, then you do his A2, or if it isn't, if it's killed, then you move on to the next champion. You do Bloodletter to decrease their attacks so that, when they do come back, they don't just, like, shatter him like the piece of glass that he is. And then last but not least, his aura, which is for faction crypts and increases ally speed and faction crypts by 20%. Not useful, really. I can see him being useful in faction crypts, though, specifically. And so since I have 2 of him, that actually helps me a lot because I don't have a lot of bannerless champions that are viable for faction crypts. As you can see, I only have Lord Chamfort, and now I have 2 Hortons, but then I have Knight Errant, Rowan, and Azure. So, I mean, and then I have all the rares. So, for that reason, I mean, it's, at this point, I mean, I can do some stuff, but I can't do a lot of stuff. Next Void one, I'm definitely going to be looking for this guy. Block damage, that's what the name of the buff is that I was talking about with Rushard the Tower. So, see, where is it? Yeah, so places block damage buff on all allies for 2 turns. So, okay, so that was it. I'm kind of feeling kind of gutsy, and so I may actually splurge a little bit and get some more. Oh, we forgot to talk about Allure. How could we forget to talk about Allure? She's been super popular lately, simply because of her ability to constantly turn meter down the Fire Knight. So if you're struggling with Fire Knight and you need to turn meter down, this is definitely a champion that's highly recommended. I actually would very much recommend her, even though I didn't get her until today. Truly my first one. We can go through her kit real quick. Attacks 3 times at random. Decreases the target's turn meter by 25% on each critical hit. 100% crit rate is the first thing that comes to mind. 100% or more even, because you want every single attack critting. And it's decreases target's turn meter, period. Not 60% chance to do so, 50%, 75%. It just goes. Yeah. Next. Attacks all enemies 2 times. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing a 30% decreased defense buff for 1 turn. Places a sleep debuff for 1 turn on targets under decreased defense debuffs. Now, this actually would pair really well with someone like, well, anyone who puts a decreased defense, actually. So, Ghostborn, Tyrell, Dracomorph, who else puts a decreased defense? What's his name? Bellower. Anyone really, because it doesn't matter what kind of decreased defenses, it just has to be a decreased defense. So if she goes after them, super useful. Instant sleep. Get your nukes in there. Do stuns. All kinds of fun stuff. Put your poisons up after her. All that good stuff. So you don't want her to be last, but you obviously don't want her to be first either, unless you already have a decreased defense buff on all of your enemies. A3. 6 turn cooldown. That is rough. And no cooldown reduction on her when you book her. That's crazy. Anyway, attacks one enemy has an extra 30% chance of inflicting a critical hit. Will ignore 50% of the target's defense. I can see why they didn't put a cooldown on this, really, because you don't want her doing this all that often, because she's not kitted out in that sense. I mean, she is. I mean, she winds up having 1,500 attack, which is crazy. I just looked at that. That is nuts. Not that you're ever going to build her that way, because she's super squishy. Like 14k at level 60 fully ascended and only 793 defense. Like, you better have some serious gear on this girl in order to get her to be able to be not like ant level like armor. And like, yeah, like ants and worms have better HP and defense than this girl does at level 60. So yikes. And again, a Faction Crypt's aura. I've talked about this in a previous video. The Faction Crypt's auras, they weren't necessary. Yeah, we can talk about that in another video. So that's pretty much all my champions. Well, it's definitely all the champions that I just got. So let's see, how am I doing? I have 93. And what am I going to do? We're going to put all the epics in, except for, nope, all the epics. I'm going to put all of the epics that I just got into my vault. I'm going to put Ixlamore into my vault, because right now, what in the 7 months or more at this point that I've been playing this game, I've learned that You should not be spreading your resources on more than one champion at a time. So, just as an example, I'm working on Bigon right now. If I start deviating to another champion, I'm going to start wasting energy on a champion that I'm not going to be able to gear properly. I'm not going to be able to ascend, and he's just going to sit in my vault until it's his turn. Now, is he a champion that I'm curious about in terms of being able to put him in a spider team in particular? Yes. Is it necessary? Not really. I'm already at stage 20 for all of the dungeons, and I run them relatively effectively. So they do take me a while sometimes, but I mean, like I said, time for me is not the issue because I'm not playing this game as if it's a job and I have a quota. I'm playing this game because I think it's fun. I love the artwork. Again, I love the lore. And I just love this game. It has great potential, and I mean, it's, if you know anything about me, I'm Ukrainian, and since this company is based in Ukraine, I love to support my people, and that's kind of how it works. So that wasn't my motivation for getting the game, but it is a way for me to like help in that sense, make sure that we're getting some positive representation, you know. So that being said, thank you so much for watching. I know this video is going to be super long. I still am deciding whether or not I'm going to edit it because I want my viewers to see who I am. It's cool for you guys to be able to see what champions I'm pulling and stuff like that, but you can do that on any channel. So I want to bring some content, you know, make a conversation piece, not just here, let's see how many fails or how many successes I can get out of this gacha game, because you can do that on your own. You can do that on your own. I know you guys do it on your own. So let's talk about it. I'd rather talk about it. That's significantly more fun than just me going click, 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 click. You know what I mean? So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I rambled a bit. That's really more because I just love talking about this game. I love, like I said, I love the content. I love the design. Do I think it needs work? Yes. Is there anything in this game that's like egregious and sticks out to me that it's sort of ruining its own potential? No, not egregious. There are some things that I wish that they wouldn't do, and or at least change in a way that would be more positive to the players. But I know they're working hard, and now that I know that the entire Playroom team actually does, or Raid Shadow Legends team does actually play the game, it really solidifies my want to continue playing because I know they are truly paying attention because they're going through the same thing that we are. So that being said, comment what you think. Were my pulls cool? Like, do you have any, what do you think you would have wanted to get out of the pulls? Are you pulling? What did you pull? I would love to hear what you've pulled. As you can see, my chat is only on clan, so I don't typically look at all of the like gimmicky, this person pulled this person pulled that in the chat room. So any comments, definitely put them down there. If you just want to say hi, even if you just want to tell me that I talk too much, or, you know, move on, do another game, something like that, it doesn't matter. You know, I'm more than happy to talk to pretty much anybody. So, yeah, so let's get a conversation started about this because I think it's super fun. I know that you guys think it's fun. So, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.